want to talk to you guys about this game, No Thanks. It's Z-Man Games, and it's by Thorsten Gimmler. And it's a quick little game that the whole family can play, so it's good. Let's get into it. Alright, so the game's a pretty simple game. It comes with these cards numbered 3 to 35. And that represents how many points the cards are worth. You also get all these chips, which are worth -1 point each. And the object of the game is to have the lowest score by the time the game's done. So we'll get this set up and we'll show you how it works. So, when you start the game off, you'll deal out 11 of these chips to each player. So I got it set up for a 3-player game here. Then you also take the deck of cards, you'll shuffle them and pull out 9 cards randomly and put them back in the box so you won't know which cards those are. And then once you're ready to start, you flip over the top card, and the starting player will either say whether they want the card or put a chip on it and say no thanks. You want to have the lowest score at the end of the game, so you generally don't want cards, especially high cards. But if you run out of chips, then you're going to have to take the card. So there's a kind of a happy balance of whether you take it or not take it. So for instance here, I'm going to say no thanks on a 23. It's pretty high. This guy here, he'll probably look at it and be like, oh, this is no thanks. It's way too high. Continues around, this guy will do it again. Eventually you'll keep building up chips until somebody says, you know what, I think I want to keep all those chips. So I'm going to do that, take them, and so now I have this card, but I got the extra chips. Flip over another card, and it goes and we start with this player. So now this is a neat scenario because how the points work is if you have cards that are in a sequence, you only ever have to count the lowest card. So for instance, this player's turn, he might not want this 22, but if it comes back to me, I will want the 22 because then I'll only have to count it as a 22 as opposed to 23. The game's over once the stack of cards is run out. So you can see here I'm down to the last card, and a lot of interesting scenarios have kind of come up in this kind of game here, this demo game we got. So for instance here, this guy might have been hoping for a 12 so he could get 11, 12, 13, 14 and complete a sequence, but because there was no 12, because I took the 12, he wasn't able to complete that sequence. Right now we can see this guy here, he's got 30, 31, 32, he's missing the 33, so he really wants this card, but we don't want to let him get that card because then he'll complete the sequence and he'll basically turn this 64 points into just 30 points because it's all one complete sequence. And there's a lot of kind of counterbalancing whether you put chips on it, do you say no thanks, or do you take the card and collect all the chips. So yeah, once the last card's been picked up, everyone counts up their scores, adds up the cards minus the points, the chips, and lowest score wins. My thoughts on the game, I like it a lot. It's really great. It's simple. It's a lot of people might not get into this type of game because they are so simple, but it's one you can play with the whole family. All my family love to play it. Quick and easy. You're never spending too much time on it. It says it can play up to 3 to 5 players, but if you work it out in teams, you can actually play with a lot more people too, and that's also a lot of fun. So I definitely recommend checking it out. Well, thanks for watching another episode of The Closet Gamer. Cheers!